everyone, so today's video is going to be a little bit different for me, but I've noticed in my comments, because I always read and respond to my comments, that a lot of people have been asking me recently about science. So if you're new here and you don't know, I am a scientist. Well, I'm a PhD student, so I have a bachelor's degree in zoology, a master's degree in marine science, and I'm currently starting my second year of getting a PhD in biology. And I've had a lot of questions about my science, and one person even asked me about being a woman and scientist and like an ultra femme woman, because obviously I am. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. Maybe not. I don't know, but we're gonna chat about it. So I did take off 3 months. So if you watch my channel, you probably know that I took off 3 months. I left May 17th and I returned August 18th because I was away at a biological station. So while I was there, I did a bunch of research for publication. So in science, there's this saying called publish or perish. You may have heard that. So you do a bunch of work, you write it up, you analyze it, and then you publish it. Or you try to publish it. You have to go through some processes of other scientists looking at it and determining if they think it's good science or not, and then you publish it. And that's kind of how you get your name built. That's how you get jobs. That's how you get invited to seminars. That's just kind of how you'll have a reputation, I guess, in science. So that's the goal. I think I can hopefully get like 3 publications out of it. Now, because it's not published yet, because it's not at all even close, I don't want to go into super specifics. I realize that it's highly unlikely that somebody's gonna watch this video, steal my idea, write it up, and try to get it published before me. I don't think that's really gonna happen, but just to be safe about my work and my ideas and stuff, I don't want to go into a lot of details, but in general, I am what you call, you can put scientists into lots of different categories. I'm a field scientist, so I don't do a lot of things in like a laboratory setting, like under a microscope or in like auger plates or something. That's not my work. I am more, I go outside, so I do aquatic work. So I like tramp through some rivers and streams and such, or lakes, and collect crayfish, and then I run them in some see what they eat for 24 hours, and that's my work. And I look at parasite loads a lot. I'm really interested in parasites and how they can affect the behavior of an organism. So that's what I do. So yeah, I'm really excited about my work. I think I've done some pretty cool, unique stuff that I can't wait to analyze the data further and write up. Also, so I am, like I said, a second year PhD student. And at Bowling Green, we have what you call preliminary exams or prelims. Other universities will call them comprehensive exams or comps. So, pretty much that's a written and an oral exam here. Other places you have to write a grant, which I think is a lot more beneficial, but that's not what we do. So it's a written exam. I have a committee. So those are the people that decide, hey, you did good enough job, you can get your PhD. Or, hey girl, no ma'am, you didn't do enough. So I have a committee of 5 people that I've, 4 of which, one is just like a Bowling Green member, a faculty member from another department who just makes sure that like they're not being jerks to me and they're not just pushing me through if I don't deserve it. So that's one. And then the other 4 are people I've chosen. I have my advisor, 2 people from Bowling Green that are faculty members in biology that study what I am interested in and will help give me input, and then a committee member who is outside of Bowling Green. He works at a different university and studies parasites, so he's going to come in and kind of help formulate my projects, make sure I'm doing what I need to do, giving me advice, things like that. But actually in a month, I am taking my preliminary exam. So again, at Bowling Green, you have a written exam. So all 4 of your committee members write questions and you get an exam. Sometimes it's open notes, so like you can like Google stuff and figure it out, because like in science you can Google stuff and figure it out, and other times you can't. It just depends on the committee member. I obviously haven't taken mine yet. My 2 lab mates who have taken theirs, they both took 14 hours apiece on their exam, so they're not a short exam by any means. They will take me an entire day to do, and then a week later you have an oral exam. So your committee comes in and they ask you questions orally, and you have to answer and kind of explain your thought processes and stuff. And that usually takes about 2 hours. And if you pass, you're good. You can fail twice. If you fail a second time, you are kicked out of the program. They give you some sort of master's degree, I think, but it's not technically in biology. I'm not sure what it's in. But I already have a master's degree, so getting a second master's degree wouldn't, in such a similar field, wouldn't really be helpful. You know, if I got a master's degree in like literature, that would be, could further my career if I wanted to do something like that, but I already have one. So it's a stressful, scary time, but I'm hoping I can pass. Obviously, that's the goal. And I've just been reading a lot and answering questions and doing fake prelims with other PhD students to kind of, get used to pretty much being told that you're dumb and that you don't know anything and how you can deal with that. It's pretty much what it is. A lot of people call prelims academic hazing. It kind of is. It kind of is just terrible. But it's part of the process, so I'm going to go do that now, or go do that in a month or so. So that's kind of my scientific update, I guess. So that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I know that some people are really interested in my research, and I appreciate that. And once I get it published, I can speak a lot more freely about it, but I don't want to quite yet, just because there's, you just never know, and I would be really upset if I couldn't publish my 3 months of work. Well, it's really more than 3 months because you have to analyze the data and stuff. But if I couldn't publish all of that because somebody saw a YouTube video about it. So there's that. I also wanted to briefly touch on being a woman in science. So I am, like I said, a biologist. I'm a field biologist. So again, I go out in the field and I'm really feminine. I wear cute clothes and I have a full face of makeup on every day and I have pink hair. And unfortunately, there are people that really don't like that. I'm really lucky that currently at my university, I'm really treated well. Nobody comments on it at all, really, except to be like, oh, I like your makeup today. But it's not an issue. So that's a huge blessing. While I was in the field station, I didn't wear makeup. I still had pink hair, but I didn't wear makeup just because it was such like a grueling experience and I didn't want to add makeup to it. But I did to like the winter meeting with those people and it was fine. I'm really lucky of some of the people I'm close with don't care. But I have experienced some pretty crappy things. We're getting a lot better as the field. Like at conferences, so you go to conferences to present your work. It's not published yet, but it's like, this is what I'm doing. It's like in press. It's really cool. And there are people at conferences that are typically, though not always, older white males who kind of think they can say whatever they want. I was one time told I was granddaughter hot by the keynote speaker, which wasn't great. I presented my work. It was an international conference. I was really nervous. It was the first time I had done an oral presentation. I presented my work there. I thought I did an okay job. And, I asked for questions and it was time to switch people. And the person that was kind of running the session that I was presenting at asked me to step out from behind the podium and spin because my outfit was really cute. Which to me just kind of negates my entire like, hey, I'm a prestigious scientist who knows things. It's like, honey, you're real cute. I have a master's in marine science, so I did a lot of work on boats. And I was one time told by a boat captain that I was a hood ornament. And I was the investigator, so it was my boat that I was doing my own work on. I trawled areas and stuff, so it was my own scientific work, and I was told I was a hood ornament. I got told that women didn't belong on boats because all we cared about was fixing our hair and putting on lipstick. So unfortunately, it's not perfect. I don't think science is the only field by any means where people have to deal with this. I think it's grossly common. I know there's also a huge racial divide in science, which is horrible. I don't feel comfortable as much speaking on it as a a white person. I did get my master's at an HBCU, so a historically black college and university, and we talked about it a lot, or not a lot, but we did discuss it like over drinks or stuff, just because it's, when you go to these giant international conferences, and you see how whitewashed it is, it's unsettling, really. I mean, if we're just being honest, it is. I will say, because I've started to notice it more, I think going to an HBCU really enlightened me, which I appreciate in a lot of ways, but in that way, because I started looking around to see the male-female dynamic, or like grouping, and I do feel like that's becoming more equal, though again, the females aren't always treated well, but the racial divide is not. I was at one conference, I would say there's probably like 400 or 500 people there, and like, I don't know, 20 minority people, something absurd like that. I mean, I didn't count, obviously, but there was very, very few. So that's a huge issue in science as well. Again, because I haven't had those experiences, I don't feel as comfortable talking about it. It's just something I've noticed and I've talked to with my friends that are minorities, but that's a thing. So yeah, it's not a perfect field. No field is. I do think we're making progress. There have been some really interesting papers about offering childcare at these conferences, because the conferences are the biggest thing. Because like I was speaking to a professor about having kids, because it's scary. I'm 26. I have a boyfriend, and we're planning on getting married, and I want to have children. But I will be 29 when I finish my PhD. Then you usually go to a postdoc, and then you first start your job. And, you know, people don't want to hire someone that's pregnant. So it's a scary thing to try to figure out having a kid fitting in there. So I've talked to a lot of older females in science about it. But like, she has a newborn, and she was trying to go to this conference that was a really cool conference, and she really wanted to go, and it's relevant to her research, but they didn't offer childcare. And so she, like, not even like they didn't offer free childcare, they didn't offer any childcare. So it was like, okay, I can go to this conference and like carry my baby around, which again, we've already discussed, some people would not be okay with, or I leave my child at home, but my husband also works. So there's just like, you know, it's hard. And again, I'm not saying this is just a science only thing. I can only speak for science because that's what I do. So there are some rough times, and I will say that I have definitely been treated differently because I wear makeup as opposed to people who don't. I think if I stopped wearing makeup, didn't dress the same way, people might take me more seriously as a field biologist. I just think that's true, based on my experiences. People don't think I can really do things that I do because I put on makeup, which is stupid, but it's true. It's my choice to continue because I think that's dumb. And I think that if someone's not gonna treat me well because I decide to have pink hair and wear makeup, I don't need them in my life. Now when I'm trying to get a job, we'll see. I honestly can't say that I would go to an interview with pink hair and glitter eyeliner on because I don't know, you know? Academia jobs, that's my goal, are extraordinarily hard. You usually have between 150 and 300 applicants for one position. So, if having pink hair wouldn't make me get a job, I don't know how I'd feel about that. But I'm only a second year, I don't really have to think about it. It's just something that I've seen a lot of interest in on my channel, so I wanted to address it. I'm not trying to say it's all bad. Like I said, my current department, it's never mentioned at all. It's to me at least. I don't want to say that no woman in my department's ever had an issue, but that's how it is. Most people have families, and it's really great. I would say that where I got my master's, it was pretty good too. You know, I mean, people didn't comment on it really at all. But I have had other experiences where people have. And this was just one person's experiences. Somebody else might come on and have something totally different to say, and that's cool. I can only speak to what I've experienced myself. So it's not a perfect field, but I do see mindsets changing, at least to a certain extent, and that's great. Hopefully people don't have to be deal with the same things I've had to, and really I haven't had to deal with that much. You know, people have made rude comments, but nobody's like tried to touch me or, you know, nothing like that. So in a lot of ways I haven't had to deal with very much at all. So I just tell you this because if you are a female planning on going into scientist, or if you're a male that's currently, or that's planning on going into science, it's just something that I think you should be aware of. And hopefully it's changing. I think it is. I really do, but I don't know how long it'll take. So that's my update. I'm a scientist. I love it. I'm not planning on changing that ever in my life. But as with any position, any job, anything, there are downsides. Any choice you make, there will always be downsides. So I'm excited about my research. I'm excited to finish my prelims. Really excited to do that, hopefully pass, and move on and, you know, analyze my data and hopefully get it written up and published. So it's all good. Like, I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm just trying to let you know what I've dealt with, because I've gotten asked about it and I think it might be interesting to some people. Hopefully this, like in 10 years, 20 years, when people make a similar video, they would not have had any negative experiences because of their sex or gender or race or anything. Religion's a huge deal in science. You know, if you're a Christian, you're an idiot, pretty much. And I profess to be a Christian. I have Bible verses on my desk, so, you know, that's a fun thing as well. But it's all, like I said, that happens anywhere. So just to be aware of it. I really feel like I kind of left that on a downer, and I didn't mean to. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a naysayer. Like I said, I love science. It's what I'll always do. But just so you know. So yeah, that's all I have for you right now. Let me know if you want like any more information. Like I said, I can't really go a lot into my exact research, but other things. Just whatever you want to hear. If this is something that you'd like to keep hearing about, I can definitely talk about it. It's what I do 10 hours a day, so that's fine. And if not, that's fine. I'm gonna film, you know, makeup tomorrow, so it's not a big deal. But hopefully you enjoyed it and got something out of it. As always, if you have any other questions, requests, suggestions, or comments, leave them down below. I really enjoy talking to y'all and getting to know y'all and you know, answering your questions. So I'd like that, and I'll just see y'all real soon. Bye.